Hi everyone, it's Justine here from House of Mahalo. Thanks so much for joining me. So I'm going to be making the journal to go inside the altered file folder that we've been making together. So I've got here, this is a double page spread that came from a children's book. It was a large book and it was stitched in so I could take the pages out, you know, as is. And then I've just cut it down to the size that I want for inside. So I'll just show you. We're going to come here, we're going to have eyelets and elastic on the spine. So this is just going to hang around somewhere like that. And yeah, it's basically just cut down to be, you know, lower than where the eyelets are going to be. And it's just going to be a very simple journal to go inside. Nothing fancy, no pockets or anything, just, you know, a writing journal. So, my ideas for this is I want to do the outer cover as Franken paper, which I have done before, about a year ago, and it worked out quite nicely, so excuse me whilst I battle for some space. Right, so blue book, book pages, scraps. Okay, so yeah, I need a ruler. So yeah, I've done a Franken journal before, and it worked out quite nicely. So I thought it would be a good way to use up my scraps this time around. And yeah, I just thought I would do it on video in case you've not come across the idea before. So basically we're just tearing our scraps into straight pieces that we're not going to bother inking until, well, we're not going to ink them at all because you can tell I've not used this glue stick since I did the leg warmers. So I'm going to get some fluff off of here. Yeah, the idea is that you get your scraps and you're covering whatever it is you're covering. Book page is a good one. And you just build it up and then you stitch around the individual pieces. And then it gives it a really cool effect. So you'll see what I mean later. And the great thing is that you can use, you know, big and small scraps to make it. So as I say, I want to focus on my scraps. So, and the idea is that you try to get like straight lines from your scraps because it just makes it easier for stitching around. So you don't need to worry about how you're going to tear the paper or anything. You just simply, you know, get the scraps and, you know, make pieces like this and overlap them, and yeah, you just keep going until you're happy basically. So what I'm thinking for this is I want to use lots of greys. So basically where we matted the envelopes in the project, I'll be using lots of scraps from that side of things. And then when I'm ready, I'm going to have a book plate on the front which is going to be in pink, and I can always add like pink snowflakes and things. I've got a bit of fluff underneath that. So yeah, we're just going to carry on until I've got every inch of this book page covered. So this first part won't be the most thrilling of videos, but I figured, you know, you might want to see how I'm going about it. I did do some Franken paper covers before. It was when I was doing some purple bits and bobs last year. So if I can find the video, I'll link it below so that you can see like the different, you know, the different styles and, you know, how that came out and stuff. It did look very good. Just grabbing some scissors that I don't mind getting a little bit gluey. So I can just cut that off. And yeah, we're just going to carry on until every surface is covered. I'm just checking that you can see okay. I've got this long pink bit here. That might be nice for a bit of pink. I might do it on the back. So, have to excuse me, I do get in a right old mess when I'm gluing. Doesn't matter what type of glue it is. Bottled glue, art glitter glue, glue stick, it just does not matter with me. Okay. I think I might put it down here actually, that might be fun. And then yeah, I'm just trying to essentially have them almost like a patchwork, isn't it? Where you have them going, you know, all different ways and things. Let's grab my ruler and just want to, you know, get these edges off. That's it. So I hope you're all doing well. Sorry if I'm not very talkative. I'm just, I don't know. I seem to have a lot on my mind at the moment. I think there's just a lot going off generally and in the world and all the rest of it. So you have to excuse me if I seem a bit here, there and everywhere today. There we go. So yeah, just a hint of pink and then, yeah, mostly with the greys. Kind of similar to how I'm doing the file folder is, you know, there's a lot of lots of grey and then the odd bit of pink. And I'm glad that I did it that way because I think it's, you know, it hasn't been sort of like at one point I was a little bit worried that it might be pink overload, you know, with all the pieces that I was making, but I think, fingers crossed, I seem to have struck a nice balance with it all, which is good. Let's put this one here. That's it. Hopefully you can see all that. Yeah, I think so. Just get some of this off. So yeah, I thought I wasn't really sure how to do the journal. I knew that I wanted it to be just a plain writing journal. You know, I didn't want anything fancy pants for this, just because of bulk really. And yeah, I started thinking about, oh, what am I going to do with all these scraps and all of that, you know. And then I thought, well, actually, it would make sense if I tried to use them up as I go. So I knew I was going to do a masterboard anyway, just to get them used up. And then I thought, well, actually, instead of doing that, why don't we see about making this into the journal cover? Seeing as I didn't really have any other ideas about what I wanted. And you'll see once you start adding the sewing, it really does it makes like a huge difference. It does. I promise you it does. Anyway, I'd love to know what projects you're working on at the moment. So for me, obviously you've been seeing me do the Pink Winter altered file folder. That's been my main focus recently. I've got the journals to do. Well, actually, technically, I've got the other file folder to do and the 2 journals that I was going to do. To be honest, I think I'm going to do the journals because there will be, I've already got the signatures ready and, you know, most of the ephemera is already made kind of thing. So they'll be quite quick to pull together. But I've actually decided I don't think I'm going to do the other file folder just yet because really I'm learning and I'll probably have to learn this lesson multiple times. But I'm learning, it's a lot of work for me, for anyone, but because I only get to craft a couple of times a week, they do have to take a long time, and I get bored. I'm not gonna lie, I get a bit bored, so I want to move on to other things. I don't know where to put this. I need to. Maybe go like that or something. Yeah, basically, I do get bored. I get to a certain stage where I'm just thinking, oh, I want to do other things now. So yeah. That's not to say that I won't do the altered file folder. I will, because obviously I've done a certain amount of work on it and I've got all the ephemera made and everything. But I do feel like I want to just take a breather and, you know, come back to it at another time. Might be, you know, something to do sort of later in the year or something, just when I'm feeling ready to work with reds again, because I felt so ready over Christmas, naturally, you know, red and green and type thing, but I'm itching to get into spring projects now. And I still have the altered file folder to do. No, not the altered file folder, sorry, the altered book. I still have that to do. So yeah, I just kind of feel like I've done this file folder and I think it's come out good and I'm happy with it and everything, but I'd be worried that I'd be rushing the other one a little bit, just because I do have an awful lot going on. More than I sort of realised, really. Now, I know I'm covering up that pink bit, but I'm kind of feeling like I want that there. So if I have to cover up the pink, that's fine. As I say, I think I want this to be mostly grey, and then the pink is just a little bit here and there. So I'm not sure. I think I'll go for about 20 minutes on just getting these pieces done. And then I will hit pause and I will move on to do the rest off camera. And then we will, yeah, I'll come back and show you how I'm going to do the rest of it, because I'll need to pause to do the sewing anyway. But I'll show you how it all comes out and all the rest of it. I'll go like that. And I feel like I'm all fingers and thumbs. I think it's just I've got, yeah, stuff all over the desk and all the rest of it. So yeah, basically the thing that I was trying to say was if I end up not doing the other altered file folder right now, then that's just kind of how it's come about and all the rest of it. But I don't think necessarily most people are going to be that bothered, because I think a lot of you are sort of wanting to get on to other stuff now as well, which is fair enough. So we're both in the same boat, really. Try not to glue my desk. And yeah, you can see it kind of just comes out like a bit patchworky, and yeah, it looks really cool when you've actually finished. And of course I might add some other things. I might add, I don't know, stamps or something could be cool, or just some floral stickers or something that goes with the rest of what we've been doing. What should we have next? I think I want some pieces going the other way on this side. That's it. I've got a basket next to me. I'm collecting my scraps, aren't I good? Just take that bit off, and then I'll put that across there. So yeah, I don't think I'll use all my scraps on this this here journal cover, but I'm hoping I'll get through a good portion of them. There we go. So yeah, I might hit pause in a second and just fill out these little bits. Yeah, just in the same way as what you see me do. And then what I'll need to do is do the stitching. So when I'm finished, I'll take it to the sewing machine and I'll simply just stitch around all these little pieces all the way around. And yeah, when I come back to show you, you'll see what I mean about the Franken paper look. It looks really cool when you're done, and that's why I'm not inking anything, because when you do the stitching around each piece, it covers the edges with the stitching. So if you think of it like the stitching is the inking, if you get what I mean, you'll understand better when you see it. So I'm just going to fill out these little bits. And then yeah, I'll get to do the sewing, and then we'll come back and we'll carry on turning this into a little journal. Be right back. Alright, I'm back. I just thought I would show you how it looks before sewing. So as you can see, it's just layers upon layers, like a patchwork. So now all I'm going to do is obviously stitch it this way and just go around all of these edges, just follow it around. It's really fun to sew. That wasn't sarcasm, that was actually genuinely, I find it really fun and therapeutic to sew around all of these. And I'll probably do a zigzag stitch. So when I come back, we'll have all of this stitched around and we'll be ready to, line it and do the final stitching, etc. So I'll be right back. Okay, I've sewn around to make the Franken paper, so that's how we're looking. As you can see, the stitching really does add something to it, doesn't it? So I hope you like that. So now we've got this horrid mess inside which needs to be sorted out. So for that, I'm going to use a 12 by 12 scrapbooking sheet. I've got this nice grey like text, scripty text, and it was the front of a Stamperia pad, the letters and flowers pad. So this was the front sheet. So I'm going to, well, I folded the 12 by 12 so that it will fit nicely inside, and then I think I'm just going to glue each side down basically. So I'm just going to give that a burnish, the scrapbooking paper. That's it. Right, I need some glue. Normally I would use Collal, but well, as we know, I'm all out. Sorry about the shadows. It is later. It is later now, and I really wish I could find a way to make my light, help me cast less shadows, but it doesn't seem to do much. I need to look into getting a new light, I think. Anyway, so let's get this paper glued down. So I'm not going right to the edge because I'm actually going to stitch around this one last time. I've got glue on my desk, of course. I'm going to glue this one last time. Stitch it one last time with the sewing machine all the way around the edge. So, right, let's just line that up at the bottom. And then I'm just going to make sure that's in the right place. sorry if I'm shaking everything, I just want to make sure that's nicely glued down. That's it. And then I can just, you know, trim off the excess before sewing it. Let's get the other side done. Yeah, I really like these Franken cover journals or notebooks. You know, as you're making them, you're thinking, oh, this is going to look not much at all. But it's then when you, you know, when you add that layer of sewing to it, it really does, you know, it just comes alive. And such a good way to use up your scraps and have your journal cover, you know, very much go with the rest of your project because you've used the same papers. It's brilliant. So, get that glued in. Make sure I'm not getting glue all over myself. Just want to check how we're doing, make sure we're glued down in the right place. So this obviously protects the stitching, but because we're using cardstock, you then, I mean, you can feel the stitching underneath the scrapbooking paper, but not as much if it was paper. So, you know, if it was just, you know, printable or copy paper. So I'm just going to cut around my cover, and then I'll go around the whole thing one last time with a layer of stitching. I'm thinking to do a straight stitch. So I'm just concentrating. Yeah, I'm thinking to do a straight stitch, and then I'll just show you for what I'm going to have as the I wanted like a book plate on the front. Originally I thought I was going to have pink on the front, but I didn't like how any of my scraps looked on the cover, and I kind of went off the idea of having, you know, a full-on book plate, because it was covering up the Franken stitching. I'll show you in a minute. So, just those out of the way. Just make sure that I can fold this over fine. As you can see, yeah, I need to, obviously once that's sewn, that would look very different. And just want to give that a good burnish down, because obviously we've got, you know, quite a bit of thickness in the spine from all of our layers. That's that. Yep. So as I say, I'll do a straight stitch all the way around my cover. And I was looking at this front here, and this kind of looked like a book plate. So then I thought, why don't we just have a label, a simple label. I did also like this, you know, and have a word inside, notes or journal or something. The difficulty with that was it's quite bulky, and for this to go in the inside of a file folder, the label obviously is flat. So I felt like really our Franken part around here is the book plate. So that's what I'm going to go with. Simple. I might round the corners, and obviously I do need to take a bit more off there. Yeah, so essentially from here I need to get the sewing machine back out again. So I'm just going to do a straight stitch all the way round, glue that on the front, which actually there's nothing stopping me from doing that now whilst I'm talking. And then I just need to put some papers inside, and they're just going to be very simple white papers, you know, snowy white, just 10 sheets, and that will be enough. That will be the journal. So this is going to go into the file folder with eyelets and either elastics or ribbon. I haven't quite decided yet. And that, you know, that's it. That's it for that part. So next time you see this, or the file folder, this will be completely finished and we'll have a journal ready to go. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing that come together. I hope you like the idea of the Franken cover. I think it looks really cool. I might very well, you know, put some extra layers on here, like little bits of pink or flowers or something. I just want to sort of see how it looks inside the folio. And then, you know, we'll take it from there. So that's all for today then. Thanks ever so much for joining me, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye for now.